where the game takes place. And that kind of towards the end of the game, when you find the alien empire that has destroyed Earth and sent the Earth Alliance into disarray. There's a little bit of story there as well, but the main bulk of the game is completely open-ended. There's no story in between those 2 points right now. You can read the development plan on our ModDB page, which you can find in the description. That'll be up probably before I post these videos next week, because we're doing the update for Combine Insurrection and Space Crusade on the 31st on Tuesday. So between Wednesday and Friday, I'll be putting these vlogs up, or vlogs up, I guess. But the main story for the game is going to be that you're a member of the Earth Alliance military, the Outer Space Division, and an alien race has found an opportunistic time in which the Earth Alliance is at war with another alien race called the Silukans. And they join up with this alien empire that comes in and destroys the Earth, which is the main base for the Earth Alliance, and also triggers some sleeper agents throughout the Earth Alliance on most of the planets in the Earth Alliance to go into action and to actually cleanse the planets of all life through devices that have been built there in secrecy. And your basic objective is to take revenge on this alien empire. You're not, it's not the kind of cliched, you're going to go save your empire from the enemies. Your empire's toast, it's gone, it's going to be destroyed anyway. But before the Earth Alliance goes out with a bang, or a whimper as it were, your objective is to find the alien race and to destroy their empire. It's kind of an eye for an eye kind of thing. That isn't to say that humanity is going to be eradicated, but the Earth Alliance as it was is doomed to be removed from the universe. I'm playing around with several ideas for this game. I'm going to go through some more of the features at the moment though, before we get into the things that aren't in the game yet. Right now we have a system in place, a coordinate system that's actually a real 3D coordinate system. There's an X, Y, and Z axis, or points, I guess, in which your weapons range is calculated, and if the enemy ship is too far away, their weapons won't hit them, or won't do as much damage as they could if you were within the optimum range of that weapon. Like for instance, let's say that I have a laser weapon equipped that can hit a target between 5 kilometers and 12 kilometers. That's its base range, but the optimum range is between 7 kilometers and 10 kilometers. If I hit them anywhere between 7 and 10, I'll do 1.5 times the damage to them than if I would between 5 and 7 and 10 and 12, outside of that optimum range. But if I attack them below or under 5 or above 12 kilometers away from them, the weapons won't actually be able to hit them, as an example. And you also can move your ship closer to the enemy ship so that you can hit them with a crude movement system we have, where you enter in how far you want to go and the axes that you want to go, and the ship will go that distance. So if you want to go, if you want to go forward, you enter in, like plus or positive 20, and it'll move you forward 20 kilometers. If you put in negative 20 for the z-axis, you'll actually move backwards 20 kilometers. Some other features are clones, so that if you get destroyed, you won't actually have a game over screen. If you have a clone, you'll be sent, your consciousness will be sent to the clone at the station, and you'll be recreated, or the clone will be initialized with your consciousness. And then you'll also be given a ship and a crew and some weapons. But you'll lose your ship that you had. But like I said, it won't be an actual game over, so you'll be able to continue playing. We also have some other features. I guess those are the only really things you could consider features at the moment. For battle, the battle design, battle system, you can either attack planets with bombs, or you have ship-to-ship battles with hostile races and pirates and stuff like that. Not every ship is equipped with a bomb hold, so you kind of have to pay attention to that if you're planning to go on a bombing run. And you can also bomb any planet you want, but if you bomb an allied planet, a planet allied with the Earth Alliance or an actual Earth Alliance planet, you'll have your rank, your rank as in your favor with the Earth Alliance diminished, and your pirate rank will increase. And at a certain point, we're going to make it so that if your pirate rank is high enough, the intergalactic police force known as the Talarath will actually start to chase after you, and you'll have to battle them in the random encounters. Right at the moment, there is no cohesive movement kind of map grid system or anything like that. You just randomly search for a planet to destroy, or head to a station and have random encounters with ships that way. In later versions, we will include like a simple map interface where you can choose to go to a system, and when you go to that system, it'll list on the names of the planets that are in the system, and you can choose which of the planets that you want to go bomb and what their different statistics are, and if they're allied with you or not. And some of the other things that we're planning are for the later version, the 2.5D version. I'm actually toying with the idea of having two separate, for all things considered, it would be a lot like Spell Force, where you have both, singular, only with your ship missions, and then also missions where it's a more RTS kind of gameplay, where you can build your own fleets and you fight enemy fleets. And those kind of missions would be the story missions, which would be the missions that will be related to the story. But the game itself, we're going to be planning to be open world, kind of sandbox-like, but there will be underlying story missions that form the linear storyline, but you'll be able to do those in sequence whenever you want. So like if you don't want to start till you have like a Titan, which is the strongest ship in the game, then you can do that. You can play long enough to get a Titan, and then you can start the story. But you'll take on the missions, the story missions from stations, and you'll be able to continue with the story missions based on what your actual rank is in the military. Like there'll be certain requirements, like you have to have a frigate or greater class ship to do a mission, or cruiser or greater class ship to do a mission. Or it could be you have to have a cruiser and also be rank commander, lieutenant, or higher, or lieutenant commander or higher, to do the mission. Once you reach Admiral, and then you also reach the last story mission, you'll be able to find out where the enemy alien empire is actually located at, and you'll be able to travel to it to continue with the ending part of the story. And once you complete the story, you'll actually be able to still continue playing. It's going to be an open-ended game without a real end to it. The story is going to end. There won't be any more story after you finish it. Story missions after you finish the story. But you'll still be able to play the open world aspect of the game. And we're also, I'm also kind of tossing around the idea of letting the player colonize planets a little at a time. Like if you bomb a planet and eradicate the populace, you can take over a city, one city at first, but then after you populate that city back up to its maximum amount, you can send out convoys to other parts of the planet to colonize other areas and eventually conquer the planet for yourself. And you can turn those into production facilities for fleets during the RTS style missions. And in the RTS missions, you will actually be able to use the ships that you can buy. So like if you wanted to, you can build, you know, command ships, Titans, frigates, all that stuff. And they'll cost the same resources as you used to buy them. The ships will come auto-outfitted though. You won't be able to choose the different weapons and stuff for them, so that's one difference for the RTS version over version missions over the singular version missions. Or version gameplay, really. And different ships can equip different weapons based on what the ship is like. You know, like if there's a frigate, you won't be able to equip heavy weapons on a frigate because the energy systems on a frigate can't support heavy weapons. But there might be a battleship which generally can't support heavy weapons, but it'll be a specialized battleship that can. But it'll cost more to buy that battleship because it can use that kind of a weapon. We're also, there's a whole list of things that we have implemented or are planning to implement in the development plan, so you can look in on that for more information. The next project, our next active project would be the Final Fantasy Fansite. And basically it's going to cover Final Fantasy V to Final Fantasy 13, skipping all the main franchise games like 11, Dirge of Cerberus, 10-2. We won't be covering those kind of games, but we'll cover the other main games. And basically it's just going to have as much, each section of the site will have as much information as possible crammed into it. So we're going to have, you know, the character bios, items, all the different items in the game, jobs if there are jobs, like with Final Fantasy V, the skills for different characters, materia in the case of Final Fantasy VII, magic, the different locations. There'll be some guides for some of them, like I'll be including my Chocobo racing guide for Final Fantasy VII. We'll also cover we'll also cover the enemies that are in the games, and we'll do that for each game. And each game will have its own dedicated website that you can navigate to from a main central homepage. I'll include the link in the description for that page at the moment, which we're still really just in the beginning development stages, so it's not really very fit together yet. But there is still some site structure to it. Again, the link will be in the description for that.